There are moments when the words seem close enough to feel, yet somehow never quite arrive. You know what you want to say, you've been thinking about it all day, perhaps even all week. Then a moment comes, and what comes out isn't quite what you meant, or nothing comes out at all. Most of us have experienced that feeling, wanting to thank someone properly, trying to explain why we were hurt, hoping to apologize without making things worse, wanting someone to understand what has been difficult, while quietly wondering whether the words will be enough. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Rumi, the poet, once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Some experiences are surprisingly easy to describe, others seem to resist language altogether. Not because they're mysterious, but because they matter. The closer something sticks to who you are, the harder it can be to place into ordinary words. Think about the conversations we rehearse before they happen: the drive to work, a walk around the supermarket, standing in the shower, halfway through making a cup of tea. Without noticing, we're trying out different versions of the same sentence. Not because we're searching for perfect words, but because we're hoping to find words that feel true. I've often noticed that when people finally say something they've been carrying for a long time, they almost always begin the same way. "I'm not sure how to explain this," or "I might not say this right." There's something deeply human about that, not beginning with certainty, but with honesty. Perhaps that's because language has limits. It can describe what happened, but it can't describe what we remember. But it doesn't always capture what something feels like from the inside. Sometimes the most important part of an experience exists somewhere beyond vocabulary. We recognize it instantly, yet struggle to explain it to someone else. That may be one reason feeling understood can be such a powerful experience. Not because every word is perfectly chosen, but because another person somehow grasps what we're trying to say, even when the sentences are unfinished, even when we pause, even when we start again. There are also words we never get the chance to say. A conversation arrives too late, someone moves away, life changes direction, the opportunity quietly passes. Those moments are part of being human too. Not every meaningful conversation happens when we'd planned it. Yet I've come to think that communication is rarely measured by perfect sentences. More often, it's found in the willingness to keep reaching for them, to try again, to begin again. To trust that being understood doesn't always depend on saying everything flawlessly. Sometimes it's simply saying enough for someone else to meet us where we are. Perhaps that's why conversations matter so much. Not because they always resolve everything, but because they give us another opportunity to discover words that yesterday we couldn't quite find. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me, and I look forward to continuing this conversation with you.